Next, let's move to deals. So now that we're in deals, now you want to start tracking your pipeline. And you're going to see with the business account, unlike the essential account, you're only going to get one dashboard. With a business account or enterprise account, you're going to have the ability to add multiple deal boards. So for example, this board, I can click on the pencil and edit this. I can change this to total production for say 2018. And that is this deal board. And I can choose the different modes. I can view this as myself, my own production that I'm adding in there, my own deals, company wide. So anybody who is under my organization, I can pull deals and show everything that's going on within the company. Or I can choose a custom view mode and say that I only want to see production for Jesse. I only want to see production for Zipi demo. Or I only want to see production for any of the users that are in sales. Okay, so that's how you can decipher and separate the view mode for deals. Keep in mind that our system is very heavily reliant on filtering. So anything that you want to see is going to be based on filters. So let's just go, for example, back to Zipi demo. And let's show the net by user. So again, I can show the net by user or company, and I'll show you the difference here once we dive into an example. And I can show only the owner deals for a particular section of transactions. I could filter this down by source, show only archived. I can order this by status or close of escrow date, by status, by type. And basically I can create that board. And as an example, several of our users will create, say, a total production board, active, pending, leads, or create different deal boards for different members of their team or organization. This little bar here is going to show you what is the filter set for this particular board. So it's just a very quick way to see what's going on and what this board is showing you. And then you can easily filter and click on this little arrow to go, I only want to see the active buyers, or I want to see the pending sellers, or pending seller buyers. So I can go ahead and click all of these and it'll filter that data for whatever I choose. So now let's go in and add a deal. So when I click on create, it's going to say, do you want to create a deal directly into Zipi, or do you like to import it? If you import it, we give you a very simple download template, CSV template that you can copy and paste all of your deals in and import them into Zipi. If you just want to type it directly into Zipi, you can click Zipi. So now let's go ahead and create a deal. I can go in and I can upload a picture. So I can put a picture of the property in here if I choose to. And then I can also add a link. I can add a URL. Then I can go ahead and select the type of transaction this is. Is it for a buyer or is it a seller? Now we've also added a dual agency button. Now if I select that, if I'm going to be double ending the deal and representing both parties for a transaction, I simply click dual agency. And what it does is going to duplicate this transaction for you, and it's going to sync them together. Next, we have the status of the transaction. The first status is lead. These are your forecasted transactions that are going to close in the next 90 to 120 days. Actives are your active buyers that you're currently out looking with, or an active listing agreement. Pendings are your in escrow or in contract. Closed are your closed transactions, and dead deals aren't going anywhere. Now we also added is paid box. So this is basically just making sure that you received your commission check for this transaction. Now it seems a little silly, but you'd be surprised when you're doing a lot of volume. We hear a lot of people go, did we get paid on that yet? So you want to make sure that you are receiving your commission checks and that you're cross-referencing them with Zipi to make sure that they are accurate. That box only becomes active when I choose the status as closed. Now keep in mind that you can also close it and save it and go back into it when you do receive your commission check just to mark it as is paid. Because we have a little warning here that once you mark it as paid and you go and save it, and it can no longer be edited. And then you can add a source. So you can go in there and completely add as many different sources as you choose to. Anticipated sale price will become the actual final sales price once you close this transaction. So let's just say $450,000. And we estimate the close of escrow date to be, say, the end of July. You can go in there and add additional fields if you choose to. Now, once I have that information in there, I can select the deal owner. So who was the deal owner? And you're going to see a list of all the users that you added to your company. So we have Zipi Demo and Jesse. So let's say that Zipi is the deal owner. And if you run an organization, a team, or a group, and you want all the transactions to go underneath you, this is how you would do this. So I can select myself or the Zipi Demo as the deal owner. We'll put in the commission here. And the commission could be a percentage or a flat fee. So it could be 3% or it could be, say, $10,000, and I would choose that amount of sale price. So let's just say 3% of sale price for this example, and I can add additional income. So let's just say I had a bonus of $1,000. Let's say we paid out a referral fee of 25%, or I could even say $1,000. So completely up to you on how that referral fee is structured. Now here is where the team member splits come into play. Remember, as I said, in the commission profile under company, when you set that up, that is for your that is for the company, not the team or group. If this is underneath, a company account. So I can go in and add team member split, and let's say I want to add Jesse to this transaction. I can find Jesse, add member. And I can say, for example, that Jesse is 50% of this transaction. Now I can say it's 50% of this transaction or a flat, say, $1,000. Hit OK. And I can add additional fees in here. So let's just say there's an admin fee of $100. Let's say there's a TC fee of $300. And I can go through and start adding a lot of this information into the account. Now I can go through and select and hit refresh, and it's going to refresh this to my commission profile that was set up when my account was created. So now I'm going to hit refresh. You're going to see that the GCI was set at $13,500. I paid out a $1,000 referral fee. Team member split to Jesse was 50%. So 50% of the after referral amount was $6,250. My royalty, my company split, and then any bonuses, any expenses, all the way down to the amount of the commission check that's going to go in hand. Then again, remember I budgeted 30% for taxes, 20% for business expenses. So it's going to just simply illustrate that that is the amount of money that I budgeted that should go into, say, separate accounts for tax purposes and business expense operating account. And then it shows me the true net dollar amount for this particular transaction. Now I can go ahead and, if I need to, adjust a commission profile directly in this transaction by clicking on the little wrench here. So let's just say, for example, I think I already have enough saved in my tax account to cover at least this quarterly installment. So let's drop that to 20%. So I can change that to 20%, and then I can hit refresh. And you can see that it's going to drop that tax amount down to the 20% mark and recalculate my true net for me. Then we can move down to communication. I can say that the first time I contacted this client, let's say July 1st, the last time I talked to them was today. I'm going to add a few timestamp notes into this transaction, and I'm going to add my client name. So let's pick on Jeff Bezos here. And then I can add his phone number, his email address, etc. Now when I go to click on Save Changes, it's going to show you all the basic details: the address of the property, the agent, the deal owner, the client name, the potential close of escrow date, seller or buyer, source, and then the sale price, GCI, all the way down to net, and the status. So when I click back onto this transaction, it's going to take me back into it, and it's going to show me the deal owner. Again, I can look at the cards, and I can see and verify that everything's been double checked, or that everything is correct. Now, when I receive my commission check, I am going to verify this with this amount because my commission check is not taking taxes or business expenses out. So I'm going to verify that by this number and make sure that it is 100% accurate. From a team member standpoint, we didn't set up this Jesse's commission profile yet. But I can go in and make sure that Jesse's commission check is accurate as well, and make sure that these dollar figures are in place. So I can go in and update his commission profile as the account owner, and make sure that everything is accurate. So now that I've set that up, I can hit refresh, and it's going to show me the true net of Jesse's income. Now keep in mind, for security reasons, that as the account owner and or administrator, I can see both deal cards. Now Jesse, as a team member, can only see his financial information, cannot see anybody else's financial information for this transaction. So rest assured there. Now, again, when you scroll to the bottom, you're going to see audit history. We've added audit history for obvious reasons. So you can see with many cooks in the kitchen and many hands in a transaction, especially if you have multiple account owners or administrators, I can go through and see that Jesse changed the account owner profile. He changed the value. I can go in and make sure with a timestamp notification and see that something was changed at this date and time to this transaction. So this just puts a lot of business owners, brokers, and account owners' minds at ease because they can see what and who changed it. So when you go to the deal board, you can go ahead again and start creating different deal boards to filter specific deals that you want to see. If you want a board for close, for active, for pendings, for individual people on your team, you can do that. Now I can start going to reports and creating different reports if I want. Now I can create a, let's say, year-to-date closed. And so I'm going to select closed, buyer and seller, view mode, demo, company, or custom. And I'm going to say that I want to track from January 1st to December 31st. Hit save. Now when I look at year-to-date 2018 closed, I can go in and select source of business. It's going to show me that I've closed one deal from family. The total GCI from that transaction was 13,500. And the more you add, the more information and details will show. I can look at commission and see that for closed for July, my GCI to my net, production, average sales, and then here is that detailed and summary report that we talked about in the permission settings for each user. And you can see that it's going to download this very simple CSV file for you. Let me increase some of this so you can see. And what it's going to do is going to show you your status, your client name, property address, deal owner, team members, if you wanted to filter down which team members were included on transactions, close of escrow, source, type, sale price, and commission. And it's going to break down all of the line item details for you, all the way down to net income. So referral fees, team members, company split. So everything that's on that deal card is just going to line item it for you in a very simple CSV report. The summary report, unlike the detailed report, is basically going to remove all of this information and just show you basically from GCI to net. So it's going to simplify the report so you can turn off that feature so team members are not going to see the complete line item from GCI to net. You can turn that feature off, or if you want to be completely transparent, you let them have access to a detailed report like this, and it's going to show each additional or where each dollar goes from the commission check.